Good morning. It's still morning here in Hawaii, um, and I'm still drinking my coffee. Yesterday, my neighbor friend just couldn't wait for Christmas to give me my Christmas present. I didn't know we were uh, sharing presents, so now I got to get him something. Um, but he knows me and all my imperfections. And I appreciate that. That's why I can really call him a friend, of which I only have a few. And this is my cup. I used to own chickens because when you first get here, the first thing you want to do is, oh, I want chickens, without the realization of the responsibility it takes to raise chickens and uh, to keep them contained. Well, I live on 3 raw wooded acres. So I just thought, well, you know, 2 hens and a rooster, that's not much. And then I don't even know how long, but it seems like a blink of the eye. I ended up having 400 chickens. No joke. Um, Roosters everywhere. Beautiful. Hens and baby chicks. And that cat you just saw behind me, I had no idea she was feasting on those chicks. And I felt really bad. But I ended up having to cull a lot of them um, and just let them walk away. And I was imperfect at being a farmer of livestock. Today, I would know differently what mistakes I made and how to improve them. And the same goes for being a YouTube creator or being a creator on any channel. I'm not new to being a creator. I'm not new to actually being in front of people. But growing up autistic and not knowing it was a challenge, not just for me, but for everyone around me. And so I grew up with a mother, God rest her soul. I love her. I still love her, who constantly, and I get it today, had a camera or an 8 millimeter video camera in all of our faces on everything that we did. I was adopted. I was the last child of 4. My 3 brothers, were her natural born children. And my her husband, my dad, and she wanted a girl. So they couldn't produce a girl, so they gave up. And his aunt actually was running a children's aid society home for foster children. And I was born in 1960. So 1960, I was illegal. I am what people call today mixed race. My birth mother was white. My birth father was black. But and one day I'm gonna show you a picture. He passed 100% for white. Um, I can look at him. I can look at my grandparents and see that they were very, very high. White adjacent. So I didn't know that I was adopted until I was 5, when children at school, in a segregated school now, started calling me white girl. and it really made me feel less than. So I started feeling less than at that age of awareness, even though my family did not treat me less than. It wasn't, I grew up in Black culture. My brothers, my mother were all Black activists. My brother was a fabulous, uh, he went to school. Anyway, he had a PhD. He was one of the first Black deans at Michigan State University. And so I'm really proud of the family that I grew up in. And I'm also proud of my birth family giving me a better opportunity than they could do. And so, growing up a little weird, a little different from my brothers, I felt imperfect. And we didn't have the term autistic back in 1960 that I know of. My mother was a psychiatric nurse. She worked in uh, the hospital's not there anymore. Eloise is in Michigan psychiatric hospital, and I would go with her to work on Saturdays and play with the patients, which were mostly all on Thorazine. But there was a lot of autistic adults there that I could really relate to. And so as I went through my life, still feeling odd, still feeling weird, still feeling not a part of, um, I got married for the wrong reasons. A lot of us do, you know. And so then I started raising children. And of course, I passed on these same inadequate feelings. But luckily, um, I had a breakdown at 31. And I say luckily, I actually took my life, literally took my life, flat, flatlined. And they brought me back. And I would say today, out of all the situations I have experienced in life, that is the one I was the most angriest about. I know it doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound right, right? That you're angry that you're alive. I was angry that they brought me back into a violent relationship, a feeling of inadequacy, a feeling of not being enough. I weighed almost 400 pounds, so I had body dysmorphia. Um, I had a lot of different things, and not knowing I was lupus, had lupus, or even ADHD, or what they now call ASD, which is level 1. Uh, I raged for a whole week in the hospital, and they had to keep me separate. So when I finally calmed down enough to listen, enough to join the groups, enough to allow myself to grieve, um, I actually called my mom and told her why I had felt like this and did that. Hi, um, you don't speak English? That's okay. I think on there they may have something for you to translate. Um, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm there. Carlos, Del, hi, hello, aloha. I'm new to this live, so I'm just now looking down here to see that people are talking to me. um, thank you. Thank you for showing up. So when I told my mom the reason why I had attempted to leave this world, it broke her heart and it broke our relationship. So I really worked through that. She didn't know that my step grandfather was a PDF. Um, not until, later. And so she took that upon herself as imperfection, as a failure, and just thank you, thank you, and just went into herself, and again, another feeling of being inadequate. And I know today it might have happened to her, and I believe it did. Growing up in the South, um, it probably did. And so now today I can have understanding, even though she's been gone for 26 years. I can have understanding and forgiveness for her pressing on feelings of inadequacy and not enoughness. And being Black in America, that never goes away. Being marginalized in any area that you are in America, it doesn't go away. It breaks your heart. Um, and but we can heal ourselves, and that's why I'm here today, because I have walked through the feelings of imperfection. I have walked through not enough. I have walked through um, supporting myself, being my best friend, even though, you know, I I I used to feel that I wasn't uh, enough to be a YouTuber because I don't have the fancy backgrounds, or I can't really edit the way that I do. And I found this really, hey, hi, Samantha. Hi, and Carlos, um, that's crippling. Having those thoughts as you're going into being a creator will cripple you. And I found another creator, and I put her handle on here as YouTube creators over 40. Don't quote me. I put it on there. Just go look at that. And when I found her speaking all of these things that I'm talking about now, about just turning on the camera and doing a live, and not feeling like you have to be perfect. And that really hit me because I was. If you go through and look at a lot of my uh, videos, and I really like the editing, I like doing recorded videos and the teaching, because I'm trying to give you um, skills that even over 40, you can still grow and use today and pass on to those in your family, friends, and whatever, because we never stop growing. I kind of realized with me, it's been every 10 years, I'm going through a new phase in life, a new phase of growth, a new phase of self awareness, self acceptance that I could have at 20 or 30 or even 40. I'm 65, I'll be 66 in January, and I'm so grateful today that I lived 35 more years to be today. I have 3 beautiful children, a slew of wonderful grandchildren of all different ethnicity mixes, and we all empower ourselves through whatever um, our parents are. My son's my daughter's Black, and um, I have Hispanic children, grandchildren. I have Asian mixed children, grandchildren. So I have learned to be accepting of others, where that really was for me at first. So it helped me to become accepting of myself too, and see my biases, see what was holding me back mentally. And as a autistic adult, I can have some rigid thought processes. I it's either black or white sometimes, as far as my thinking, either right or wrong, black or white. And I had to come to terms with that. This was during COVID when we were all on lockdown. And honestly, I really loved the isolation of COVID because I have a problem with going out in public with anxiety and sometimes social interaction. Not extremely, but it is one of my things. So, um, being trained as a cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner during COVID was the best thing I've ever done for myself. 3 years of going through training and using all of that training on myself first, digging through the garbage of my beliefs, pulling it out, looking at it face on, not pretending, accepting my inadequacies as human, accepting my biases as learned beliefs, and accepting my beliefs as something that I can change and my values grow with me every, you know, as more as I live on my lifetime. You don't have to stay in the same value systems that you were raised in. When you are an adult, you can separate from your family's value systems and create your own values, create your own belief systems. But how do you do that? Through self examination, not beating yourself up while you're doing that self examination. I love journaling because I believe journaling is one of the most honest things you can do because you're writing and you're not censoring yourself. You're writing what you feel at that moment. Because you know what? In the next moment, you might not feel that way. But when you go back and you look at your journal, I like to go back uh, months and look at my journal. And sometimes I cringe. But I'm like, okay, now that I see that bias, and it could be hurtful to myself and others, and it could be crippling to my growth, and it can also include help stop me from being genuine. Um, I can see that those biases that I can change them. And so what I do, I love knowledge. So I go in search of how to change, what I need to do. And so that's why I'm here on this channel because I am a knowledge lover. I've always been. I was raised in a home where we had a library. My mother found every book that she could and bring them home. And I devoured every book, no matter what it was. Um, so, I love learning and I love learning about myself. I love learning about other people. I've learned through my training to um, ask questions and let the person answer. I don't have to agree with their answer. I don't have to believe their same beliefs, but I want to understand where they're coming from, where they develop those beliefs, how they develop those beliefs. And I've come to understand, uh, just like as myself, that we all learn what to believe, what to think, what to feel in our childhood. And we are products of our family system. Um, I wasn't raised in poverty but my family worked and it was a struggle because they were Black. But they pushed through and they had resilience. So they taught me resilience, never giving up on yourself, never feeling like you're less than, while also appreciating other cultures and what they can bring to the table. So racism, um, I would say, not racism in black, but prejudice. Uh, I've never really experienced that full blown in my life. I could have some biases, but prejudice is a little different. Um, but we all have biases, no matter who you are. And so I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome because a part of us growing up and not feeling comfortable, even though we may have a PhD, we may be an expert in our field. You know, even my brother, who was a PhD, I could see he had some imposter syndrome, but he knew everything too. So that's just something that I think a lot of professionals feel until they become comfortable enough to present their thoughts and ideas and really stand in it. And I'm getting there. I love what I do. I've always loved psychology and understanding people and finding out what makes them tick. So now I'm learning to listen. I'm learning to guide and coach people who may be professional, you know, not or not, but who aren't. Um, I don't work with people with deep mental health issues. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I am a cognitive behavioral coach who has learned all those same things without going to a 4-year degree. I did 3 years, and more. But I don't profess to be a therapist and fix you. I help people with their goals. And on this channel, it's the goals of self acceptance, self awareness, and also accepting other people, walking through difficult periods of life, um, and learning, picking up life skills that can help you grow um, as you go. So, like right now, um, I like talking about a lot of different things. So I'm trying to stay on topic here. Imposter syndrome is a product of not feeling enough, is a product of um, low self esteem. And a lot of us don't know we have it, but we can see it in our lives every day, but we don't want to face it. So if you're new to the channel, and even if you're not, I suggest you go through uh, some of the videos, the ones that resonate with you. Look at the free downloads that I have on there. I have worksheets, journals, all types of uh, thought processing worksheets that will help you use cognitive behavioral therapy and dialectical behavioral therapy, which is really good for us on the autism spectrum, more so than CBT. But CBT on this channel, I adjusted it for our neurodiversity. It's different for neurotypicals. Okay. It's totally different what I learned. So I had to go through and reprocess it in a different way. So I hope that's helpful for you. And if you are a new or even an older creator who's been doing this a while, but you still feel uncomfortable, um, check out YouTube um, over 40, the link, the in the description. And listen to her. I think she's very genuine. She's got a lot of good ideas in to help relax me about doing this because at first I didn't feel I was doing it right. You don't have to do it perfect. Most of the YouTubers I find on here and that I follow are people who just turn on the phone and talk, unscripted. But a lot of the things that I do, I script because it's a learning process. It's an educational videos that I present to you. And so I'm really excited because thank you so much for the 149 subscribers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, but I'm grateful for each one. I'm surprised and I'm honored that they did hit the subscribe button. Um, and I'm honored that Carla said you're saying you would try your best to support me. Just show up for yourself. That's how you can support me. Show up and do the best and learn for you how you can personally develop. That's what you can do. Okay? It's not about me. It's about you and what you can do in your life, how you can make your life better by learning small um I don't want to call them skill sets in everyday living that can help you grow and other people grow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good day. So I'm really excited that I woke up last week and YouTube said that I can create courses. I've been trying to do that for a couple of years, and the software is expensive and it's time consuming. But they're making it easy for me to do it here. And so I'm doing a 7-day course. It's self-paced. You use it. You can do it as long as you want. You don't have to do it in 7 days. You can do it over and over again. Um, on how to survive the holiday seasons while ASD, autistic, ADHD, and neurodivergent. Because I don't know about you, but this time of the year has always been very triggering for me. Family events and get togethers. My brothers teased me horribly my whole life. They loved me, but they teased me and it hurt. Um, to the point that when I grew up, I didn't really want to do those traditional things with my children. Whereas now they do because we didn't do it. And that's okay. Fine. But reciting those traditional events brought back so much. It triggered a lot of trauma, emotional trauma that I really don't want to pass on anymore. I enjoy my holidays. If I spend it with friends, I do. If I choose to spend it at home with my dogs and my cats, I do. I don't have to do anything I don't want to anymore. I'd have to go next door for the dinner, and I didn't. I felt really guilty. But then I talked with her yesterday and I explained to her. She said, "No, don't worry about it." She said, "We really didn't feel like doing a big to do anyway." I was like, "Okay," because I just kind of stayed home and watched movies. Um, Also, my brother, my grandmother, and my mother all passed in the same year within 30 days of each other. So that's another holiday trauma that it took 26 years to me to work through. Today, I'm okay with it. I've walked through my grief. I've learned to forgive them for what they didn't know because they too only learned what was passed on from future generations, from past generations. And my adoptive family are direct descendants of enslavement. my mother, my great-grandmother, well, my great-great-grandmother, my great-grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother are all um, descendants of the South Carolinian enslavement, African enslavement. And my birth family on both sides, I am a descendant of enslavers. And um, that's another story on itself. So, it's a hard thing not to pass on what we call family curses unless you take the time to learn what they were and that you can stop it. So I don't care what race you are, what ethnicity you are, what religion. I don't care about any of that. If you are autistic or on the spectrum in any kind of way, you are in a group of marginalized individuals, whether you're male, female, non-gender, conforming. I don't care. Um, I'm here for you. I accept all that you are. I even accept the things that I don't agree with that maybe you might believe because we might have other areas that we can connect with. And who knows? Um, Once you start talking to some people that you may have once seen as disgusting, beyond, you know, uh, criminals. I'm not talking criminals, people who hurt, just your average people. Um, you may find that just like you, they're a product of their um, environment and their thought processes. And you might have more in common than you know. You might actually like each other. Um, I went through that just in the last 2 years with my neighbors. We're not the same political party, but I've come to see their humanity. I've come to see why I chose what they did. They've come to see my humanity and why I feel and believe the way I do. And I believe that we have both um, somewhat shown the reality of what's put out there, of the falsehoods, the false narratives that are out there. Because I'm going to tell you, YouTube is full of false narratives, full of it. There are people who are just out there for your money. There are people who are out there to really help and connect with you. And learning the difference is a part of a lot of my content, going through it, being able to see through the BS and hear and understand what is really being said in between the lines. And just because people label us on the spectrum doesn't mean we can't do that. We are some of the most intelligent people on the earth. If you look, you'll see a lot of uh, inventors who are a little quirky like us and would be diagnosed today. So I want you to go into this holiday season letting go of some of the fears of what you might experience or anxiety of what's coming up. So check out the 7-day course that will be airing on my projected date on the 10th. I'm working on that now and getting that done on YouTube. Um, and share the channel with that if you enjoy the content in all its imperfections. Okay. So again, thank you to each and every one that has shown up. Um, I appreciate you. And I really look forward to getting to know you more and engaging with you um, in the content, in the comments below. Don't be afraid. I will never judge you. I will never abuse you. I will never jump on you. I won't do that. Um, I just want to hear what you think and how you're doing and how I can help you. And right now, I'm trying to figure out how I can turn off this. So have a great day and aloha.